Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News on 3FM. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kesmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Exhibition of provisional voters register kicks off to a slow start at polling centers across the country. We are live there to bring you the latest. Also coming up, Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana likely to call off 2-month-old strike later today after intervention by Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Much later on the program, Chief Executive Officer of Kokobo, Joseph Boahene Adu, justifies the over 3.4 billion cedis increase in administrative cost of Kokobo. We'll tell you more. Thank you very much for joining us today. Let's start off from here, and the voter registration exhibition exercise has commenced in earnest at polling stations across the country. Now, the exhibition of the provisional register between today and August 27 comes after the recently organized limited voter registration exercise and the 3-day mop-up exercise. Now, the exercise is also to enable prospective voters to check their details as captured during the registration in order and to request for amendment or insertions when necessary. It will also allow the Electoral Commission the opportunity to delete names of deceased individuals and persons with multiple registration. The EC came under intense pressure from the main opposition National Democratic Congress to make available copies of the provisional register ahead of the exhibition. The EC says copies are ready for pickup by political parties. Let's listen to Deputy Commissioner in charge of Corporate Services are the EC, Dr. Bosman Asare.
In the CI, the law allows the Commission to make the register available no later than 3 months after the compilation. And we did we finished the main limited registration on May 29th. 3 months after May 29th will be August 28th. And we also did the mop-up. We finished the mop-up 3rd August. So 3 months after 3 months, within that 3 months, is it November or August, September, October? So the commission is well within the law, but we have tried to ensure that the parties get it in advance.
And you had the Deputy Commissioner of the Electoral Commission in charge of Corporate Services, Dr. Bosman Asare. Now, over the 7-day period, the Electoral Commission will exhibit following at the exhibition centers. Now, 2020 voters register, 2023 voters register, 2024 PVR, that's from the limited voters registration and mop-up registration. Also, exception will be exclusion list where applicable, multiple registration list, also where applicable, name reference list, proxy voters list, again, where applicable, special voters list at the district EC offices. We have on the line with us Christopher Amako. He's a man in the northern part of the country. He's been monitoring events for us and joins us live. Christopher, what can you tell us from what you've seen and monitored so far?
Yes, so Beatrice, I've been to some exhibition centers in the Salaga constituency, and I must say that the turnout today is very low because first of all, there was some rainfall earlier in the day, and so after several months of no rain in the area, the people have gone to their farms. The second issue has to do with the fact that there is, according to the voters here, there is no publicity on the exhibition exercise. So majority of them are claiming that they've not had any information about the exhibition exercises. So that is the reason why there's not something, but they are hoping that in the subsequent days they will come to be part of the exercise.
In the subsequent days they will come to be part of this, but are you able to tell us how the rain disrupted the Electoral Commission aside from the people who chose to go to their farms today?
Yes, so before I came on, I was so broken in some parts of the constituency. So people are unable to move from their houses to go to the exhibition centers to go verify their names and information. And so probably along the day, maybe somewhere in the evening, if the rain subsides or stops, they'll be able to move to the exhibition centers. So basically, maybe tomorrow or the day after, they'll be able to do so.
Thank you very much, Christopher Marco. He's our Northern Region correspondent. Let's go to the Ashanti region, precisely in Kumasi. Well, we understand there were some rains as well this morning. Ibrahim Abubakar is monitoring events there for us as well. He joins us live. Ibrahim, what can you report from where you are?
Well, Beatrice, the turnout, I would say, is a bit low. Usually on first days of this exercise, we experience these things. But today, like you said, because it's been raining intermittently, it has also affected the process. And also, some people were engaged. You could realize that the publicity was a bit low because most of the people we engaged say they are unaware of the exercise. But now that they are becoming aware, in the coming days, they will take opportunity and also go and check their details.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim Abubakar. Let's bring in some voices he got from there for us.
I'm unaware of the exhibition exercise, but now that you've informed me, I'll take the necessary step and go and check my name. I've gone to check my details, and I'm urging everyone to also go and do same.
And you had some people who went there to check their details in the voter register. They're telling us that it seems the EC did not do a lot of publicity ahead of this exercise. We'll be bringing you what's happening in Accra, the capital city, regarding this exercise, which has started today. But ahead of that, let's bring you some other issues. And the Colleges of Education Teachers Association, CTAG, is likely to call off its strike by close of day after National Council meeting. Now, CTAG on June 14 declared an indefinite strike over the government's failure to implement the National Labour Commission's arbitral award and agreed improved conditions of service. Remember that the industrial action halted academic activities in all 46 public colleges of education across the country. Now, after a marathon meeting with government on Monday, and that's just yesterday, the teachers agreed to end the strike pending official communique to that effect. But 3FM is learning about a last-minute intervention by the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, who is also the flag bearer of the governing MPP. Apparently, he has reportedly given them government commitment to resolving outstanding issues, and we'll be speaking to a Labour Affairs correspondent, Daniel Opoku, shortly. He's monitoring events for us. But first, let's hear the Director for Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, Professor Abdullah Jinapo, who is elated about the progress made in resolving the strike.
Well, I think, first of all, I would say it's unfortunate that we got to this level. The issues that the teachers put on the table were issues that were resolvable, and as part of the government team, we have always indicated our commitment in ensuring that their grievances are resolved. Be it as it may, we are where we are now. I think it's a lesson to all of us that at the end of the day, in all of this business, it boils down to discourse and dialogue. Fortunately for us, there seems to be some revolution in terms of the status and conditions of faculty and staff of the colleges of education. They are being migrated apart with their colleagues at the traditional universities. The nomenclature that is going to be used to describe them is no more going to be tutor, but is going to start with lecturer. And in terms of their condition of service, they are going to become put on the same scale as their affiliate universities.
And you heard that Professor Abdullah Jinapo, who is the Director for Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, speaking earlier on Sunrise today. Grace Hamwajiman has been to the Accra Technical College of Education. She joins us live in the studio. Grace, just tell us what you saw when you were there today.
Yes, Beatrice. So I'll say that the school compound or the campus is still decked, but for the presence of some outside teachers who are writing their licensure and promotional exam, you wouldn't have seen anybody on the campus. So I think it is just the SRC president and some SRC executives I saw on campus who will still have to stay on campus because of the position they hold. So you don't see any academic activity going on like you'd have expected because they've called off the strike. The school is still dead. Only a few students are there. They tell me that they're excited. They have also heard that the lectures are coming back, but until they see them in the classrooms...
See before you believe.
Yes. But until they see them in the classrooms, they are still laid back until the lectures come to the... Because they always hear they are coming and they don't show up. And so they are waiting until they see them.
Let's hear what they tell you, what they told you actually.
So we've heard that the lectures will be coming back this week.
Okay. What does it mean if they come back?
Actually...
Speak up.
Okay. Actually, if they really come this week, it means there will be a lot of pressure on the students because they are coming back with full preparation and ready for lectures. And then I also heard that they'll be adding just a month to this 1 week that is remaining for it.
And you heard that some students, we apologize for the poor quality of the sound because of the wind in there. But Grace, obviously, they are taking that news with a pinch of salt, isn't it?
Yes, they are taking it with a pinch of salt. Because they tell me that there is a cycle where their lecturers go on strike. Government says, okay, we've heard you, we will pay you. They come back to the classroom and government doesn't pay. And in as much as they are excited, there's that fear that their lecturers might go on strike because government might not fulfill its part of the bargain. And
they would have spent a lot of money trying to prepare for...
Exactly. They are supposed to be going home from... Originally, per the calendar, we're supposed to be going home from next week. And now it looks like they are not going to begin the calendar. And so if their lecturers are coming back, they must be coming back with a lot of conviction and surety and assurance that they are coming back. They also made a plea to GTech for how the academic calendar will be able to roll out to make up for the lost time. So some of them are asking for an increase in their studying hours so that if they were doing 4 hours a day, they now want like 6 hours instead of an extension of the period because they have between at most a month to complete the calendar, and they're telling me they think they can do that if they increase their academic hours instead of adding like a month more to make it 2 or 3 months.
I think one person we can hear on this is Abdul Razak Swale, who is the president of the students campaigning for their teachers to come back. Let's listen to him.
Well, it sounds relieving to get an atmosphere that the strike might be likely to be called off. That is something we've been eagerly waiting for because since the strike began, we have been saying that at all costs, there have to be some compromise, and that has to be done. The students should our teachers be back to the classroom as soon as possible for academic work to begin. So for us to hear the news as yesterday that CITA has entered into an agreement again with Ministry for Labour and Employment Relations for them to be meeting today to call off the strike. It's something that we have been yelling for.
You heard there Abdul Razak Swale. He is president of Teacher Trainees Association. Now, the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahin Edu, has justified the over 3.4 billion CD increase in administrative costs of the Ghana Cocoa Board. The minority in Parliament has raised concerns about the management of the Ghana Cocoa Board, criticizing the rising administrative expenditure amidst declining cocoa production. Now, speaking to the media after facing the Public Account Committee, Joseph Boahin Edu said that the investment in farmers and farms led to the board's administrative costs increasing to 3.4 billion cedis last year. He explains how the cocoa rehabilitation program also contributed significantly to the increase.
You have made with these amounts.
The rehabilitation program is something that was not existing. It became because farms were diseased, CSSBD, there's no known remedy. there's chemical remedy. The only way is to cut the trees and replant, which the farmers cannot do. We've seen it over the years that farmers have not been able to do that on their own. So the government, together with Cocoa Board, then decided to make a major intervention, which we call the rehabilitation program. And once we have such a program, we have to spend. And if you are spending, definitely your administrative costs will go up. So a lot of that money is going into payment of, the workers who are working in the field. We are talking about planting materials and then various activities, because almost everything is being done for the farmers, for the provision of even plantain suckers and planting. I've quite often explained that if you leave it with a farmer, ordinarily a farmer can cultivate just a pole. A pole is a 40-ounce plant. So even if you take it as an acre, the farmer can do an acre a year. You give yourself 10 years, you would have done 10 acres. Now, when the disease strikes, the farmer have to cut all the 10 acres and replant everything at a go. And the cost of doing that is number one, labor into that. Even the time, there's no way the farmer in Ghana can cut 10 hectare, land and then decide to plant on his own.
And you heard that the CEO of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahin Adu, speaking to the media earlier today. Noble Crosby Onan is there for us. He joins us live on the line. Noble, what more can you tell us beyond what we just heard the CEO say?
Well, Beatrice, if you can hear me, so today at the Public Accounts Committee meeting, apart from the CEO of Cocoa Board, who was taking his turn already to face the committee and answer some questions from the committee. Well, during the time of Cocoa Board CEO at the Public Accounts Committee, a lot of the questions bordered on unearned salaries that should be recovered. There's also a few concerns on external marketing of cocoa, as well as some delay in recovering funds. Some questions were also asked of him on how Cocoa Board is not claiming insurance after a vehicle they were using was involved in an accident. The explanation was that the person who was driving the vehicle was not a staff of Cocoa Board, so it made the process a little bit cumbersome. So they've involved their lawyers and they're going through the legal route to put the blame on the garage to ensure that they are able to recover the funds. So that's for Cocoa Board, who ended his turn a few moments ago. At the moment, the Ghana Education Service is also taking its turn to face the Public Accounts Committee. Educational directorates from various districts and municipalities have taken their turn, and they are answering questions as to the findings of the Auditor General in the Auditor General's report of this Public Accounts Committee. But already we've also had some, the Ministry of Interior has also taken its turn. Some questions were asked of the police service, also relating to some findings of the Auditor General there. So essentially, that is what has been happening here at today's session of the Public Accounts Committee. We understand the Health Ministry is also expected to appear before the committee. We'll wait and see what happens during the turn of the Health Ministry.
We wait and see when it is the turn of the Health Ministry. Thank you very much, Noble Crosby, and giving us a live update following the Cocoa Board's appearance before the Public Accounts Committee on why administrative cost has increased to 3.4 billion cedis. It's some 19 minutes past the hour 12. You're still here on the Midday News on 3FM and 92.7. Let's bring you some more. And President Akufo-Addo has called on Labour and stakeholders in the pension space to be measured in their pronouncement in order not to create dissatisfaction on the labour front. President Akufo-Addo cited the sale of the Snitch hotels and said comment regarding the sale created agitations among pensioners and cautioned members to be circumspect in their dealings. Daniel Opoku is our Labour Affairs correspondent. He joins us live on the line. Daniel, what more can you tell us regarding what the president has been saying?
Right. So, Beatrice, good afternoon to you. Basically, the position of the president was that with the issue regarding the sale of the hotels by by Senate. You could recall that organized labor raised concerns and resisted the sale agreement, where one of its leading members, Mr. Beatrice Adu Bismark, was at the forefront trying to fight against this.
Hello, Daniel. Okay, it seems we have lost Daniel Opoku on the line. We'll try and reconnect to him, but we can hear the president speaking to on the TUC matter earlier.
We must take advantage of this relationship and form stronger partnerships that enable trade unions to exercise their power for the benefit of all. Despite the challenges facing our nation, it is natural for trade unions to advocate for better conditions of service for their members. As a government, we ask only for moderation, taking into account global events and their impact on our local economies. Additionally, trade unions should play a proactive role in shaping the future of work. The rise of automation, artificial intelligence, and the gig economy represents both opportunities and challenges. Unions should advocate for policies that ensure these technological advancements do not lead to job losses or increased inequality. Instead, they should push for initiatives that promote upskilling and reskilling, ensuring the workforce is prepared for the jobs of the future.
Earlier, I was telling you that the president was also making commentary regarding the sale of SNIT hotels and the controversy around it. Let's hear the details of that as well.
The government remains committed to expanding pension coverage, sustaining the pensions regime, and enhancing the adequacy of pension payouts. I'd like to extend special gratitude to the Sector Minister for Pensions, the Honorable Ignatius Bafuomia, Member of Parliament for Sunyani West, for his hard work, diligence, and exemplary leadership in transforming the sector. I take note in particular of the improved performance of SNIT, which recently announced a surplus of 230 million cedis on its operations. This should be reassuring to organized labor and perhaps bring into sharper relief the unnecessary controversy that was recently generated by SNIT's efforts to offload non-performing assets in its hotel portfolio. It is my understanding that the transaction that was aborted represented the only occasion in recent history of SNIT that external investors sought to invest in SNIT's holdings. All of us need to be measured when it comes to making decisions and pronouncements that would affect the long-term interests of pensioners.
And you heard that President Akufo-Addo. Daniel Opoku, our Labour Affairs correspondent, rejoins us on the line. Daniel, we've just heard the President talk about the SNIT issue and also his address to TUC. Anything else to add to what is going on there?
Now, yes, that's what we have rightly said. The position of the President is that organized labor or workers actually should be fairly measured on what they say with regarding to the sale or even the property regarding the sale agreement of SNIT. There's a need for everybody to be fairly measured in order not to create some level of apprehension within the labor front and also among pensions. And that cardinal point that the President has to do with salary is that labor should act not to be demanding government and also some way, somehow, for Dr. and that labor should be collaborate with Dr. Muhammad Bawumia for him to win the upcoming election. Can regarding to
our connection to Daniel Opoku is not helping, but he was just introducing the president's message on the flag bearer of the governing MPP now, Dr. Muhammad Bawumia. We can listen to that.
Innovate and act decisively to guarantee the interests of our workers and build a resilient economy. Trade unions have a proud history of championing workers' rights and driving social progress. As we look to the future, let us draw inspiration from this legacy and work together to create a brighter Ghana for all. And in so saying, I wish the new incoming executive of the Trades Union Congress the best of luck and success, and full cooperation with, hopefully, the incoming Bawumia administration.
You heard the President Akufo-Addo speaking to the TUC about hopeful cooperation with the flag bearer of the MPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Should Ghanaians vote for him come December 7? You're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Now, the Ayawaso West Wuogon branch of the opposition National Democratic Congress has petitioned the national executives of the party, cautioning them to refrain from signing any peace accord ahead of the December general election. They want the party to desist from any such peace pact until the critical issues in the 2019 Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election and the election 2020 violence are addressed. In a petition signed by Constituency Chair Bismark Awusah, the members contended that signing such an accord under the current circumstances would not only undermine the sacrifices of those who lost their lives in the 2020 elections, but also be perceived as an endorsement of the status quo where impunity reigns supreme. The opposition party has come under pressure to sign a peace pact after comment by the national chair Johnson Asiedun Katia that they will not be part of any process. The group is currently engaging the press at the University of Ghana before proceeding to present its petition to the party. Job Laboja is on the beat, joins us live on the phone. Job, what more has this group been telling us?
All right, Beatrice. So, are being discussed here currently by the West Wuogon executive chairperson for the NDC and Ghana.
Excuse me, forgive me, Laboja, your line is breaking. Would you kindly reposition yourself so we can hear you clearly?
All right, can you hear me now?
Excellent. Please go ahead.
Okay, so as I was saying, two things are being discussed here at a press conference organized by the Greater Accra Regional, the Ayawaso West Wuogon Regional Chairperson, together with the Greater Accra Youth Wing of the NDC, Ladies Wing. And apparently, they've been talking about two things. One has to do with the peace accord that pressure is mounting on the NDC to sign, and they are basically saying that they don't see the need for the party executives to go ahead to sign any peace accord whilst issues of 8 persons who perished during the 2020 elections are still pending. And again, they made reference to the Ayawaso West Wuogon by-elections, and they are saying that though a commission was set up, a white paper was issued by government, but the report wasn't implemented, and they don't see the need for the party to go ahead to sign any peace accord. They must take this entrenched position to at least send a strong message to the government that at least it matters and things like that should never happen again. And on the other hand, the youth wing, which is the ladies wing of the University of Ghana things, they have also been addressing some issues regarding the running mate of the NDC, which is Professor Jenana Opoku-Agyeman, and they have been doing some comparison analysis between the two major political parties running mates, the Dr. Matthew Opoku-Agyeman and Professor Jenana, and they have been touting the achievement of the NDC.
Our lines didn't seem to help us at the latter part of our conversation. But that will be it for the news here on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us today. Log on to shrenews.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.
Busy on this frequency, 92.7 3 FM.
Radio Development Show Host of the Year, 2016-2017.
And the winner is John Hughes.
Hi, my name is Johnny Hughes, your community rights advocate, and I'm still on the quest to bring smiles into your communities with Community Connect on 3FM 92.7. Join me this and every Friday morning at 9 a.m. right here on 3FM, and together we will solve the problems bothering your communities.
I know your program is a program that always get a result. Myself, I'm a witness to that.
What can we do to help your community today in terms of education, health, sanitation, security, and all the issues in between from your community's perspective? Tune in to Community Connect every Friday morning at 9 a.m. as we get interactive live on radio and on Twitter at 3FM 927 and on Facebook at 3FM 92.7. Community Connect, helping solve your community problems. I wake up early every weekday because of you, to keep you on top of your game. Yeah!
You are at the center of our universe. That's why we make it a duty to serve you only the freshest, hottest news and entertainment. When you want it, where you want it.
Good morning, Ghana, Africa, and the rest of the wonderful world. Welcome to Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Start your day well informed. Start with us on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Catch the all-new Sunrise Morning Show on 3FM 92.7 with me, Johnny Hughes, Helen Obiambofo. Weekdays from 5:55 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on 3FM 92.7.
3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.7 3FM.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Business Daily on 3FM 92.7. Coming up, Bank of Ghana debunks claims of regulatory loopholes and inefficiency in tracking remittance flows into Ghana. We will hear from Head of FinTech and Innovation at the Central Bank, Kwame Opong.
Bank of Ghana does not require 5 licenses for FinTechs to do inward remittance in Ghana. All these entities only require 1 license each.
Also, International Monetary Fund, IMF, reveals possible reintroduction of suspended 15% VAT on electricity by government. We'll tell you why. And CD records marginal gains against US dollar amid Bank of Ghana's forward auction. We'll bring you details. I am Bismark Awusah. Bring you details of our headlines and many other stories shortly. Do stay. Thanks for your company. Now to our very first story. Banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuayen has criticized the central bank's regulation of remittance inflows, citing disparities in the bank's reports juxtaposed with the World Bank's reports. According to him, Ghana has had significant losses in remittance flows, and that is also affecting the stability of the cedi. He was speaking at the breakfast meeting organized by Graphic Business in partnership with Stanbic Bank.
If you look at the data on Bank of Ghana and the data against the World Bank, there's a complete disparity or discrepancies. So I'm saying that as a nation, we should make sure that we create a system that will be able to capture all remittance to meet the standards. Because if the World Bank has reported that we're going to make 4.6 billion and you recorded only 2.8, there is a whole lot of 1.7 billion differences. And I believe that if you put a system of tracing and capturing remittances, it will go a long way to help the balance of payment and at the same time the stability of the currency.
That was banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuayen. Meanwhile, the central bank denies these claims, also refuting additional claims that fintechs require about 5 licenses to operate in the country.
Bank of Ghana does not require 5 licenses for fintechs to do inward remittance in Ghana. All these entities only require 1 license each. So as I clarified earlier, that is a complete lack of appreciation of the data. Bank of Ghana published a net inflow is a net position. You either have a net inflow, you have a net outflow. And what you have in that annual report was the net amount. What you have in the MPC and all the other data that is being compared with it is actually highlighting the inflow and outflow at a gross level. So you can't compare apples and oranges. The second thing is the section that is being referred to about the fintech's contribution. Again, if you go there, you may see other things that are not even relating to the financial statement. It relates to the activities and development in the sector, the new guidelines that are put in place, the new initiatives, the innovation that is coming into the sector. And so when you're highlighting the contribution there, I think you have to put that in context. And you don't conflate that with the accounting statement.
You heard the voice of Kwame Opon, head of fintech and innovation at the Bank of Ghana. Moving on, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has disclosed that Ghana government may reintroduce the previously suspended 15% VAT on electricity if inflation rates continue to decline. The following report has the details.
The IMF's July 2024 country staff report indicates that government is considering implementing the 15% VAT on residential electricity consumption, which was shelved earlier this year due to public backlash. The tax was suspended after widespread concern over the financial burden it could place on consumers, especially residential users. The IMF report stated that on the revenue side, implementation of VAT on residential electricity, which is expected to yield 0.17% of GDP, was suspended due to strong social resistance. It added that authorities are committed to implementing this measure when the inflation dynamics are more conducive. The VAT was originally introduced as part of the revenue-enhancing measures under the IMF-supported COVID-19 recovery plan. In January 2024, a letter from the then Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta directed the Electricity Company of Ghana and Northern Electricity Distribution Company to impose a tax on residential customers exceeding a certain consumption level. However, on February 7, 2024, the government put the policy on hold following threats from organized labor to stage a nationwide protest against the tax.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report. The Ghana cedi edged up slightly against the US dollar last week as soft US inflation data and a new 7-day forward auction by the Bank of Ghana provided a cushion. However, the cedi lost ground against the pound and euro due to stronger economic signals from the UK and Eurozone. The following 3 Business News Desk report has more.
The Ghana cedi posted a modest 0.13% gain week-on-week against the US dollar, closing at a mid-rate of 15 cedis 93 pesos per dollar. The stability was largely driven by weaker US inflation data, which softened the dollar against emerging market currencies, and the Bank of Ghana's newly introduced 7-day forward auction initiative. The central bank sold approximately $53 million during its maiden auction last week, helping the cedi appreciate by 0.29% in a single day. The auction, which allows banks and authorized dealers to purchase foreign currency with a settlement date 7 days later, is intended to replace spot market interventions and ease demand pressures. Despite this boost, the cedi faced setbacks against the British pound and euro, losing 0.86% and 0.58% respectively. The pound and euro strengthened following robust economic data from the UK and Eurozone, weighing on the local currency. On the retail market, the dollar is currently selling at 15 Ghana cedis 90 pesos. Year to date, the cedi has appreciated by approximately 23% against the dollar. Analysts are optimistic that the central bank's forward auction initiative, coupled with its existing measures, will provide some stability for the local currency in the weeks ahead. The Bank of Ghana plans to hold another 7-day forward auction this week, giving banks and authorized dealers further opportunities to manage foreign exchange demand more predictably.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report. Before we go, Chief Executive of Ghana Association of Banks, John Ewuah, has noted poor financial structures it make it difficult for sector to recover loans. He cited individuals and businesses are shielded by the courts who refuse to repay loans. This, John Awusah indicated, makes it difficult for banks to lend more.
A customer defaults and the bank wants recovery, goes to the court system. You are talking about 2 years to 3, in some instances even more than 3 years. When in our counterparts, in other parts of the world, you are talking about maximum maybe 3 to 6 months. You have your money and then the next person can have access. So all these things must come together. As it is now, today, if a bank gives loan and there is default and the bank goes to court for recovery, the bank is seen like some tyrant trying to bully someone. When that person is rather an enemy of the financial system, and we need a judicial system to help us to correct behaviors. So we are emboldening people who are defaulters, willful defaulters, and they are walking around for free. They owe heavily in the banking system, driving big cars, living in big houses. We can't recover because they are hiding behind the court system. The court is shielding them. How do you expect the banks to aggressively be lending when this is the environment within which we are operating?
And that was CEO of Ghana Association of Banks, John Awusah, and the full interview airs at 5 p.m. today on Business Focus on TV3 by Parkwesi Asari. And that will be all for Business Daily with me, Bismark Awusah. For more business stories, please log on to 3news.com. Thanks for your company.